This is CBS.
Down on robberies in Indianapolis, Jim.
Alabama beating up on LSU in college football, Jay.
Skies are clearing up and temperatures are falling. Trudy.
Thanks, Jay. On the Scene News is coming next. Stay with us.
Everywhere I go, people ask me, Arnie, is that old tractor you drove in the Pennzoil commercial still running? Still running? We use it here at Latrobe every day. And with Pennzoil protecting the engine, there are a lot more miles left in it. You know, this old tractor and I are a lot alike. We're both still using Pennzoil, and we're both still running.
Gas-saving Pennzoil. Quality in every extra mile.
Want something tasty and delicious? Taco Bell, Taco Bell. We've got lots of different dishes. Taco Bell, Taco Bell. Taco burritos, tostadas, enchiladas. Taste the one and only original Taco Bell.
It's great tasting because we use fresh ground beef, never frozen, and it's cooked in our own famous sauce.
Real cheddar cheese.
Come taste the one and only original Taco Bell.
Channel 8, Indiana's #1 news station.
Good evening. Lately, their numbers have grown. Criminals who use guns or the threat of violence to rob citizens and businesses. Indianapolis area police are now looking for ways to stop the trend. Channel 8's Mike Andrevet has a report.
Yesterday alone, there were 14 armed or forcible robberies in the city. A bank was robbed, several grocery stores, other small businesses, and even citizens walking the streets. Several more robberies were reported in the county, and by mid-afternoon today, 5 more robberies had been committed. What's happened the last 2 days, to a lesser degree, has been happening all year. In a year when overall crime in the city is down 11%, robberies are up 3%. In the county, crime is down 9%, but robberies are up 18%. Many of the robbers are identified as young males, many between 15 and 18 years old. Authorities are responding by getting tough.
Is that starting this week, if you're 16 years old and you commit a robbery, you're going to be tried as an adult. We changed the law, and those 16 and 17-year-olds are not kids if they have a gun. They're adults, and they'll be tried as adults.
Also, a mandatory jail sentence awaits robbers who use a gun. The problem is catching them. There are just too many robberies for police to handle. Many law enforcement officials, including Steve Goldsmith, think merchants should take measures to protect themselves.
We're trying to start a program to prove to the business community that if they put in hold-up alarms and if they put in cameras, they can reduce their insurance rates, and they can also save a clerk from being beaten or robbed or whatever.
Why have robberies jumped? Part of the answer can be found in the economy. High interest rates and inflation lead more people to crime. How to slow the hike in robberies is a more difficult question to answer. Mike Andrevet, Channel 8 News, on the scene, downtown.
State police are concerning themselves with the Labor Day traffic. So far, 3 people have died on Indiana roads and highways. 2 men were killed this morning when their car spun out of control and struck a tree on a Porter County road. State police predict 15 will die in state Labor Day weekend accidents. Another bomb exploded today in Iran, and another top-ranking official is dead. Iran's powerful military prosecutor general was killed after an explosion ripped through his office. In a related development, Tehran radio reports Iran's police chief died today from injuries suffered in last week's bombing at the Prime Minister's office. Solidarity leader Lech Walesa vowed today to fight for the survival of Poland's free labor movement at the opening of the union's first National Congress in Gdansk. People turned out in large numbers, lining the route between the church and the sports arena where the Congress was to meet. Walesa declared there is no turning back, and Solidarity will continue its activity with or without government approval. While Solidarity meets, some 100,000 Warsaw Pact soldiers are gathered along Poland's eastern front and in the Baltic Sea. They serve as a grim reminder to the Poles that Soviet troops are ready to move should the Kremlin decide. Meanwhile, 2 U.S. senators in Moscow today warned the Soviet Union military intervention in Poland could further damage East-West relations. Senators Charles Mathias and Alan Cranston warned the Soviets the West would react sharply to any military action inside Poland. Barring any further split, the Soviets will have a chance to buy more American grain next year. Agriculture Secretary John Block says the U.S. will offer the Soviet Union 10 million metric tons. The offer will be made at a meeting between the U.S. and Soviet agricultural officials this fall. Egyptian President Anwar Sadat is continuing what's become the largest crackdown of opponents in his 11 years as head of state. Sadat is threatening to withdraw state recognition of the top Christian leader and to disband groups that threaten national unity. Over the past week, the Egyptian government has arrested 1,500 people in connection with civil unrest and rioting. A summit between another Middle East leader and President Reagan is set for this week. Israeli Prime Minister Begin will arrive in New York tomorrow and then head to Washington to meet with the president. Begin is expected to emphasize to the president what a strategic ally Israel is to the U.S. But a Newsweek magazine poll indicates American Jews feel Begin's aggressive policies have eroded American support. Meanwhile, President Reagan's press secretary, Jim Brady, began his Labor Day weekend with a trip out of the hospital. It's his first since he was shot in the May assassination attempt on President Reagan. We have a report.
When White House Press Secretary James Brady was wheeled out of the hospital, it was thumbs up all the way. The famous Brady spirit is intact. Since March 30th of this year, when he was shot in the head outside a Washington hotel, he has undergone 4 operations, the latest on August 20th. It has been 20 weeks since Brady has seen his house, and family friends who accompanied him today say he has been excited all week about this long-awaited first visit home. The same was true for his wife Sarah, son Scott, and neighbors who awaited his arrival. Even though friends had only short notice, the neighborhood was decked out with welcoming signs for the man they all affectionately call the Bear. Although the presidential press secretary was only home a few hours, it was as though he was coming home forever. When he arrived, there were cheers and applause, but there were no words to express what the Brady family really felt.
Coming on the scene, dangerous chemicals are moved out of the Hoosier State, and nearly 100 evicted nursing home patients in Hammond are finding new homes. That and more when we return.
Madam, I have a surprise for you.
Surprise me? I who know all.
You can call anywhere, coast to coast, and visit for 20 minutes for only $3.84 or less, tax included.
That's all? Oh. Your late husband, Max, is surprised, too.
Max!
Just dial direct anytime Saturday and Sunday till 5. For instance, New York is only $3.50.
I'll call my sister. Hurry, she's about to leave.
Reach out and touch someone. Long John Silver's fish and more.
Ask for Long John Silver's Fish and More. You'll get 2 crispy fish fillets.
And more.
Fresh coleslaw, hush puppies, golden fries. Fish and More. A great catch at a great price.
Who can ask for anything more?
Long John Silver's fish and more.
State officials say the removal of more than 150 drums of hazardous waste from a southern Indiana location has been completed. A Chicago firm hired to remove the cyanide-contaminated chemicals repackaged the containers. The drums at the site at Bicknell in Knox County were taken to a disposal site in Alabama. There is good news for some of the nearly 100 mental patients evicted from a Hammond nursing home. 8 are going to a private health care facility in Rockville. And city officials in East Chicago are offering a former fire station as housing for at least 20 of the patients. They've been sleeping on cots at the Tri-City Mental Health Center in East Chicago. The patients were evicted from St. Anne's a few weeks ago when the home closed because of money problems. IPS school board commissioners held a special executive session this morning. The topic was violence in the schools. Marion County Prosecutor Steve Goldsmith and school principals were also there to discuss a grand jury report on the subject.
There are continuing discussions about the grand jury report in ways to reduce the level of problems, violence in the schools. We talked about restructuring the training for school police, redefining and making better known situations where arrests can take place in the schools, addressing the issue of discipline, clarifying when students and employees can and should be disciplined for acts of misbehavior in schools. The general theme was to make the schools a safer place.
While IPS school officials worry about violence in the schools, some teachers nationwide are worrying about finding work. Education Secretary T.H. Bell says there will be almost 900,000 fewer children attending school this year. Because of that, 55,000 teachers are being laid off. That's the biggest one-year drop in history. Budget cutting has reached the school lunch beginning in mid-November. The 26 million American children who eat school lunches will find less on their plates. That's when a new Agriculture Department plan is supposed to go in effect. The plan is expected to save the schools up to 10 cents a meal. Those students here in Indianapolis appeared to have little concern about school today. They took this day to have one more last fling of fun before it's back to the books. Channel 8's David Barris reports.
The Indianapolis Police Department motorcycle drill team led the way as the 4th annual back-to-school parade was held today. Underneath beautiful skies, 93 different units marched before a crowd of onlookers through the streets of downtown Indianapolis. The parade included marching bands, floats, some well-known athletes, and even a radio personality who is a weatherman. And what would a back-to-school parade be without teachers and students? This year, a lot of city children actually started school already as part of the desegregation program, but they came to enjoy the parade anyway. For those who head back to class on Tuesday when IPS opens its doors, this last big summer event can be a moment of sadness, knowing a summer of fun is just about over.
Pretty excited about going back to school?
Nope.
Why not?
So I want to go back.
Others, however, are anxious for school to begin.
Are you looking forward to going back to school?
Yes,
How come?
because it keeps me busy.
Pretty anxious to go back to school?
Yeah,
How come?
it's fun
What do you like best about it?
to read.
The parade is sponsored by several city organizations, including the Indianapolis Recorder, Pride Task Force, and Operation Push.
After the parade, there was a free ice cream social for everyone to get together and have a good time. But despite all the fun today, there was a serious message, and that is that it's important to have an education and for kids to stay in school. David Barris, Channel 8 News on the scene, downtown Indianapolis.
Are we going to have this beautiful parade weather for tomorrow and Monday and Tuesday?
Would you like beautiful parade weather for Monday?
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Tuesday.
You got it.
I can maybe give you Sunday and Monday for sure.
Okay, we'll take it. We'll have Jay's forecast and a story on the Police Olympics when we come back.
We're gonna go Hawaiian.
Hawaiian Punch is the taste, the one and only taste
That really goes Hawaiian.
Hawaiian Punch is more than just a cold drink. It's 7 natural tropical fruits come together with 10% fruit juice for the taste everybody loves.
Go Hawaiian, go Hawaiian.
American Airlines and Hawaiian Punch are going Hawaiian.
Why not you? You can win one of 125 free round-trip tickets for 2.
Check your store for sweepstakes details.
Mr. Merritt, Jojo keeps scratching. Must be the heat.
More likely. Fleas. When it gets hotter, fleas get more active. Dogs and cats need a flea and tick collar that's temperature sensitive. Sergeant Sentry 5, the only collar with 2 ingredients. One gives steady protection. The other gives extra protection when it gets hotter. Sergeant Sentry 5 collar works harder when it gets hotter.
While many police officers are spending this holiday weekend on duty, others are spending it in Indianapolis. They're competing in the first annual Indiana Police Olympics. Channel 8's Bryce Sheets has the story.
Opening ceremonies mark the start of the Olympics, followed by the rigors of competition.
The purpose of the Police Olympics is to promote fellowship amongst police officers, also to promote through athletic competition to make them able to serve the public better by keeping themselves in good physical condition. We feel that we have something to be proud of. We try to keep our bodies in good shape so we can serve the public. And this is a way that they get to show the public they are in good shape.
The competition is open to law enforcement officers from various agencies, with the officers participating in a variety of sports. This is the first year for the sanctioned tournament in Indianapolis, although a similar area tournament was held last fall. Even though this is only their first Olympics, members of the Indiana Law Enforcement Athletic Association, who sponsored the event, hope to draw regional and national tournaments to Indianapolis in the years to come.
Officials are pleased with the turnout for this first Police Olympics and are gearing for a national competition later next year. Bryce Sheets, Channel 8 News on the scene on the city's east side.
Jay Johnson with weather, and it's so nice to have a dry Labor Day weekend. It seems we always have a wet one.
Well, you know, if the roads are dry, you don't have to worry about too many traffic accidents, and that's the key thing. And of course, the weather's always nice for barbecuing too, you know. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jay Johnson, and now let me give you some of our forecast for Indiana. Our skies are clear, the temperature is 68 degrees, the relative humidity currently standing at 84%. The winds are from the north at 8 miles per hour, and the barometric pressure now stands at 30.12 and rising. We find that in South Bend it's 65 degrees, 66 now in Fort Wayne, in Evansville 65, and we've got 68 in Indianapolis. If we take a look at our satellite photograph, we'll show you some of the pictures that are happening around our area. Really not too much to worry about. As you can see here over the Indianapolis area, our skies are clear. However, intense thunderstorms developed this afternoon over parts of Arizona, Utah, and eastern Nevada. One tornado was reported about 50 miles south of Phoenix, while a second overturned 4 mobile homes at Gila Bend, Arizona. Now, cloudy skies covered most of northeast Indiana today, while partly sunny skies were in order elsewhere. The clouds kept temperatures in the low 70s in the northeast, while the remainder of Indiana enjoyed temperatures around 80 degrees. Tonight will become clear and cool over most sections. However, some cloudiness may linger in the north. Now on Sunday, skies will be partly cloudy in the north and mostly sunny in the south. Labor Day should be delightful, with mostly sunny skies and mild temperatures over the entire state. So I'm calling for no rain over the Channel 8 viewing area through the Labor Day weekend. Now let's take a look at some selected temperatures across our nation. We'll find that New York City, as usual, had a nice day with 75 degrees. 89 down in Miami, 84 in Atlanta. Birmingham reported 87, and fair weather in Houston with 94 degrees. As you can see, fair weather because of this warm system precipitated by a low. Chicago 76, Detroit 72, and we had 80 degrees in Los Angeles. Where was our hot spot today? Right in Yuma, Arizona, 105 degrees. Our cool spot was in Jackson, Wyoming with 33, and in Indianapolis, 80 degrees. Our record high was 100, set back in 1954. That's a great shot of Kings Island. The low, 65. The record set back in 1974. It was 45 degrees then. Looking ahead, we'll find that our forecast will give us this kind of information. Tonight, clear and cool with a low in the mid-50s. I told you it would be cool. Now tomorrow, sunny and mostly sunny skies with mild temperatures, a high around 70. The winds will be from the north at 10 miles per hour. On Labor Day, partly sunny and mild, a high around 84. The low should be around 54 degrees. Now, way ahead, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, dry and pleasant days, cooler nights, lows 50s, highs 70s to 80s. I think that's a pretty good forecast.
I think it's a tremendous forecast, a great way to end the summer, and we thank you. We'll have more news right after this break.
Everywhere I go, people ask me, Arnie, is that old tractor you drove in the Pennzoil commercial still running? Still running? We use it here at Latrobe every day. And with Pennzoil protecting the engine, there are a lot more miles left in it. You know, this old tractor and I are a lot alike. We're both still using Pennzoil, and we're both still running.
Gas-saving Pennzoil. Quality in every extra mile.
Here's a sneak preview of what's coming up next week on PM Magazine.
Monday, it's Tom Jones.
Tuesday, meet the man of the hour, Gary Collins.
Wednesday, there's a visit with Chris Everett Lloyd.
Thursday, witness one of the most moving sights of nature.
And Friday, travel to Paris to meet Pierre Cardin.
So be sure and join us beginning Monday for all this and more.
It's called Gunsmoke 81. No, it's not a revival of an old TV series. It's an exercise in which the nation's best Air Force pilots are competing. Here's a report.
There has not been a worldwide competition among American fighter pilots like this for nearly 2 decades.
Unlike earlier red flag exercises, which closely simulated combat situations, Gunsmoke 81 focuses only on air-to-surface strikes. It is an exercise in exacting accuracy. When pilots hit targets placed throughout the deserts of southern Nevada, their accuracy is recorded by Air Force television cameras. While officials say Gunsmoke will give them a real picture of what American pilots can do in a combat situation, for the participants, it is pure competition.
To be a successful fighter pilot, you've got to be competitive by nature, and I think everybody handles this very well. It's just sort of the name of our game. Our goal is bombs on target, and this kind of competition piques us and ensures that when the time comes, we can deliver the ordnance.
Gunsmoke 81 will continue for the next 2 weeks, with awards being presented to top pilots, maintenance, and ground crews. In a gambling town, the Air Force is betting big on Gunsmoke's effectiveness. They've already announced plans to hold the exercises once every 2 years.
John Lennon's 1956 Bentley was recovered only hours after it was reported stolen today. But police say that whatever happened to it, it was, quote, less than theft. The limousine was in Auburn as part of an auction of 600 classic cars. Ron Morgan from California, owner of the car, was in Auburn to sell it. He wanted $1 million for it. Details are sketchy tonight, but police say Morgan sold the car to another party, then drove off with the car and the cash. A stolen car report was filed, but DeKalb County Sheriff's officers did not have details of the report. No one seems to know who purchased the car or for how much. Deputies say no charges are being filed, but one describes the situation as a total screw-up. Jim Barber will be here in just a few minutes with lots of football highlights. Stay with us.
Long John Silver's fish and more.
Ask for Long John Silver's Fish and More. You'll get 2 crispy fish fillets.
And more.
Fresh coleslaw, hush puppies, golden fries. Fish and More. A great catch at a great price.
Who can ask for anything more?
Long John Silver's fish and more. We'll help you in the morning, expect more. We'll help you out at night. Amoco's doing more for you to keep your car running right.
You can expect quality products at Amoco, like the 14 benefits you get in higher octane Amoco Premium Lead-Free.
You can expect more. Amoco, expect more from a leader.
Jim's here and he's all excited about this football game that just got over with. He's going crazy.
Tonight. Unfortunately for LSU, it's all Alabama. Thanks, Trudy, and hi, everyone. A college football blockbuster down south tonight. Number 4 Alabama and LSU, and the Crimson Tide had it all their way, up 10-0 third quarter. Beautiful 4-yard touchdown run by Lewis. This is the option play, and boy, I tell you, they look tough. Then it was Fields to mix, 44 yards for Alabama on the touchdown pass here. The Tide never really threatened, or never really had any problems by LSU throughout the entire game. The game played in Tiger territory tonight. Bama with the touchdown here went up 24-0. LSU got a consolation TD at the end. The final, Alabama 24, LSU 7. The Georgia Bulldogs, defending national champions, buried Tennessee 44-0 in the Southeast Conference game earlier today. Number 10 ranked Bulldogs look good. Buck Ballou, 14 for 19. He set up the first touchdown with this pass down the 5-yard line. And then moments later, Herschel Walker scores the first touchdown of the game. The sophomore rushed for 161 yards. Then it was Ballou to Lindsey Scott. Scott with 2 touchdown receiving passes today, over 79,000. Watch Georgia win big. College football this afternoon, number 8 ranked Pittsburgh over Illinois. 14th ranked Mississippi State a winner. Brigham Young over Long Beach State, and Miami, Florida beat Florida. Now in this game, what a finish. Miami, Florida with 44 seconds to go. Dan Miller 55 yards out to win it and upset Florida. Wow. Tonight, Florida State had no problems beating Louisville, ranked 19th in the nation. They won 17-zip. South Carolina over Wake Forest, and Rutgers just got past Syracuse. Indiana State opened at Northeast Louisiana State tonight and got clobbered. No problems for NE Louisiana State 38-8. DePaul beat St. Norbert today 31-7. Locally today, not much good news. Indiana Central got clobbered by Wisconsin and Platteville. ICU's 4th possession, they looked tough at the beginning. Tim McMitchell, Northwest High School grad, look at him run. 72 yards after he broke a couple of tackles. Greyhounds off to a great start in their opener. 7-0 right there in the first quarter, but that was it for them. In the second quarter, Doug MacArthur of Wisconsin-Platteville scores to tie it at 7-up, and after that it was all Platteville. MacArthur to Kevin Davenport to make it a 24-yard scoring play, 14-7 Wisconsin-Platteville in the third. And they go on to win easy, 31-14. Now to pro football, the season opener tonight in Tampa. The Bucks and the Minnesota Vikings in Tampa Bay off to a good start in the Central Division, beating Minnesota 21-13. Now over to high school football. Manuel Chittard tonight at the Arlington Field. It was all Chittard, a winner easy by a score of 28-3. First possession, 31 yards, 5 plays, and Paul Bates does the rest. Now, Trojans' next possession. Boy, what an offensive machine tonight. 85 yards, 11 plays. Sean Keating, 35 yards to Ted Labs. This will set up another score for Chittard. On second and goal, moments later, Ted Howard from a few yards out gets touchdown number 2 of the night for Chittard. Manuel did finally get on the scoreboard, set up by this play. Justin Haley to Bill Osby for 40 yards. That will set up a field goal for Manuel, but that's all they could do tonight. The Redskins having their problems. Chittard in the opening possession of the second half. Keating the Labs, 15-yard touchdown. Chittard wins 28-3. High school football this evening. Lawrence Central, no problems with Evansville Central. A winner, 31-6. In the U.S. Open today, John McEnroe, two-time defending champion, won easily in 3 sets. No surprise there. Mac a 6-3, 6-2, 6-3 winner over Pat Dupre. A little trouble for him. And coming up next for McEnroe, Kevin Curran. It was third-seeded Yvonne Lendl joining McEnroe in the winner's circle today. Lendl, a winner over Vines of Richmond. Mark Vines, 6-4, 3-6, 6-2, and 6-3. Meanwhile, Jose Luis Clerc had problems with Mel Purcell, but he beat this young man coming from behind to win 6-3. Love 6, 6-4, and 6-3. Top-seeded Chris Everett Lloyd won easily in the women's competition today at the Open. No surprise there. 6-3, 6-love over Alicia Moulton. Third-round action. Watch the drop shot coming up by Miss Lloyd, defending champion. Oh, was that pretty right there. And Tracy Austin, the third-ranked seed, had no problems either over Pam Cassell. A winner, 6-3, 6-love. To go along with that victory, fifth-seeded Hannah Malikova, also a winner today, so the tops in the women's had no problems. Now the baseball, and the Reds lost to the Phillies for the second straight night in late innings. Paul Householder, former Indians product, had his day, though. He brought the Reds back from a 3-0 deficit. That cut it to 3-2, and later the Reds went on top 4-3 with the man who's been hitting all season long for Cincinnati. Who else? George Foster, goodbye. Cincinnati up at this point, 4-3. Another good comeback like last night, but the same ending. The Phillies come from behind. It's Mr. Hustle, a former Red, who does the trick. Pete Rose, 2-run single, bottom of the 8th. And Philadelphia gets what it takes in the bottom half of that inning to rally to beat the Reds 5-4. The Expos hit a couple of home runs today to beat the Astros of Montreal. Tim Raines, the home run off of Don Sutton right here. Andre Dawson had a 2-run job as well. Montreal played home run derby at times. A winner. I score 5-2. Cubbies beat San Francisco. Good news there. And that should be the New York Mets, not the Nets. A winner over Atlanta 4-2. Kansas City today, the Yankees beat the Royals in a pitching duel 2-1. Casey with some bad base running at times. Look at George Brett with a base hit right here. This really should be a single, but Brett gets a little tricky, and he says, I'm going to try the arm right there, try for a double. No way, he's gone. Yankees with extra base hitting today really was the key. New York has been hitting the ball well ever since the owner, George Steinbrenner, screamed at New York and their manager. Extra base hit scores 1 for the Yanks, and they go on to win 2-1. White Sox in Toronto tonight. Sox up 2-1 in the 8th. Milwaukee beat Minnesota 5-3. It was Boston over Seattle, and Cleveland took a doubleheader from California. Locally in the U.S. National Drags today at Raceway Park, Dwight Salisbury qualified for Monday's finals with the 3rd fastest quarter-mile time in drag racing history. How's this? 5.637 seconds. Gary Beck, who set a track record of 5.632 yesterday, still holds the top qualifying spot. Finally in sports, the Pacemates have been selected for this year's Indiana Pacer NBA season. The returnees, Karen Davis, Vanessa Perkins, Cindy Strack, Tracy McGrew, and Lynn Reinhardt, and the new ones, Susan Hurley, Jenny Feldhake, and Barbara Jones. The NBA basketball season gets underway for the Pacers about the last day of October, starting really about 3 weeks later than usual, and hopefully that's going to be a good sign for the Pacers, because last year they conflicted with baseball in the World Series. They claim it took away the attendance. It didn't help matters. Now they move it back 3 weeks, and what happens? The baseball strike moves the playoffs back, and it looks like the NBA season and the baseball season may just miss each other by a week, which would be good news for the Pacers.
Sounds good. Let's get over football first, okay?
We just started, and that's good.
Okay, Jim. Thanks a lot. We'll be back right after this break.
Truth is, any chainsaw will cut down a tree. Question is, how many trees will it cut down before it breaks down? Steel chainsaws are built tough, with the most durable alloys and high-powered engines. Even the same type of cylinders used in race cars. Because a saw that's built stronger will last.
Available at rental service company, Reese's Mower Service, Innis Small Engines.
The heartbeat of Indianapolis changes at night, and a new picture of our city takes shape as Channel 8's On the Scene news expands to a full hour at 10 with Night Beat. Now Josh Lipman joins Mike Ahern every weeknight for a special in-depth local update with Ed Harding and Stan Woods following our regular report. 8 On the Scene news with Night Beat, where the news leaves off, the beat goes on, weeknights at 10 o'clock.
Our time is running out. Bowman Furniture is $250,000 overstocked. Savings to 50% through Monday. Bowman Furniture, US 40 and Post Road.
Thanks for being with us. We hope you're having a safe holiday weekend. For Jay Johnson and Jim Barber, I'm Trudy Yarnell. Good night.
Call this the scariest day at the United States Open. Third seeded